welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make faith and lifestyle content. I'm 23, I live in Alabama with my husband and our 2 dogs. And I'm so excited about this video because I've never done one before, but I've always wanted to. And that is a Q&A video. I've always wanted to do one of these videos, but I never thought people actually were interested in asking me questions. But in one of my last videos, someone commented requesting a Q&A and then put some questions they wanted me to answer. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll do a Q&A because at least one person wants to know these questions. And then I put a question box on my Instagram and I got a few more, so I'm excited to answer them. I'm assuming I'm gonna be talking for a very long time, so get you a coffee, get you a snack. As you saw in the beginning of this video, I made a little brown sugar iced latte. Very excited about it. Since this is my first one, I feel like this is gonna be pretty like a personal Q&A, getting to know me more. I got some questions on marriage, kids, Ethan, YouTube, all that kind of stuff, and I'm excited to dive into it. I'm filming this on my couch because I wanted this to be chill, comfortable, just like we're chatting. Let's get into it. I have all the questions on my phone. So first I'm gonna start with the questions about me and Ethan. I got to how did you and Ethan meet, and how long have you known your husband? We actually met at our church, the church that we still go to, quite a few years ago. I think we probably met in like 2018. We met in our like young adult group at our church, and we didn't really know each other, kind of were like acquaintances, but we just knew of each other. After a few months, we just became best friends. I dated someone else, he dated someone else, and then we just kind of got closer and closer, and it never became a thing where I was like, we would date. He was interested in me at one point in time before we got close, but never really like thought about it. In 2019, the summer, we went to a conference together, and I feel like we kind of got close there. We went as young adult leaders. And then his birthday's in August, so I was like, hey, I want to take you out to eat for your birthday. I think he said he had never been taken out to eat for his birthday, and we were just best friends. So it wasn't odd that I said, hey, let's go out to eat. And then that night, we kind of just confessed our feelings to each other. It was kind of super random. I wasn't expecting it. It was like kind of shocking, to be honest. Not shocking, but it was just like we were best friends. But then at that night, it kind of just clicked like, oh, we're always meant to be more than friends. And honestly, from that point on, we kind of knew we were going to get married. And that leads me into another question is, how did you know he was the one? And I personally don't believe in the one. Kind of controversial, but I think you can make it work with a bunch of different people. That God doesn't have one specific person for you, but I do think he allowed mine and Ethan's paths to cross and allowed us to come together and get married. But honestly, when I first started dating Ethan, it was clearly very serious. And so I asked one of my friends, one of my best friends, who was actually the maid of honor in my wedding, I was like, hey, how did you know that you and your husband were gonna get married? How did you know he was the one? Because she had gotten married a couple years prior, and she said that her husband had just made it clear that he wanted to be the one, that he wanted to marry her, and that he pursued her. He just made it known to her, like, my intention is to be the one, and that really stuck with me. And I realized, like, Ethan is doing that for me. He's making it clear that he wants to marry me. He's making it known that he loves me, and he's pursuing me. And so I feel like that kind of really told me, like, this is the man I'm gonna marry. I know he was the one because he made it very clear to me that he intended to be the one. And obviously I don't believe in the one, but when we got married, now he is the one. And I personally believe that the man is supposed to pursue you. And so I definitely felt that in the relationship. And I also had written prayers to my future husband, and I went through and looked at all those prayers, and it very clearly lined up to be Ethan that I was describing. Those are kind of some ways that I knew he was the one. I feel like I could talk about this a long time. I'm gonna stop rambling. If you want me to do kind of more in depth on that, I will, but that's kind of like a short, brief summary. So the next couple questions are about marriage. What's your favorite thing about being married? And I feel like my favorite thing about being married is that I'm just like doing life with my best friend. Like I get to wake up to him every day, and I get to go to sleep with him every night. And I just know that he's always gonna be there. He is my best friend, and so it's just so much fun getting to like live life with your best friend, live with your best friend. I mean, obviously we have arguments, we're not perfect, but even just do mundane things, but I get to do it with my best friend, and just always having someone there, and I know he's always going to be there. Another question is, any advice on marriage? I could talk about this for a long time, and I plan to do a video on all the things that I've learned in my first year of marriage, but my advice would be to apologize quickly, because I feel like when you get married, you realize how selfish you are and how some things just aren't worth an argument. Even if you feel like you're right, I think that you should still apologize quickly, because something I've learned is it's not you against your spouse, it's you and your spouse against the problem. Like, you're not fighting each other. That's what the devil wants, is for you to fight against each other. You are both working together, you're a team, and you're fighting the problem. So that's something I've definitely learned in marriage. And just to give grace, because I want to be given grace as well. Like, we're literally living in the confines of one home. Like, we're gonna get annoyed at each other, and we're gonna have hard moments or moments that we're frustrated or even tired and hungry, and just to be able to give grace in those moments, because, you know, we also have those moments. So those are a few things, but also just think it's so much fun, like, going out and doing things, because it can get super mundane just to sit around and do normal day-to-day life, go to work, come home. So I think going out and doing things together also really helps, because it just continues to connect you. So I got a few questions on kids. I feel like when you're married, it's very common to get questions on kids. Any plans on kids? How many kiddos do you want, slash genders? How many kids do you want? So we definitely want kids. As I've grown up, I think I have realized one thing I'm meant to do is to be a mom. And so I'm really excited for that season of life. I definitely want kids. I've always said I want 2 kids. I think it's probably because I grew up in a family of 2. Like, it was just me and my brother. I'd like to have a boy and a girl. I think everyone wants that, just one of each. But I think it'd be fun to have 2 of either gender. As far as when, I have always said, well, not always, but especially getting married so young. Like, I was 22 when I got married. Obviously some people get married younger than that, but I feel like so young, and I think I want to have kids by like 25. Like, that sounds like a good age. Obviously Ethan is older than me, so he wants kids like sooner than I do. Probably 25, give it a couple years, maybe after that, maybe before that. I don't really know exactly, but it's not gonna be soon. It's definitely gonna be, you know, in a couple years or so, because I'm currently 23. I turned 24 this year, so I guess 25, I turn 25 next year, so who knows, but I definitely want kids. Next question is, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self? I would say to not be so stuck on the idea that I had for my life, because I feel like when I was 16, I thought I was gonna graduate, go to college, get a degree, get a job. I mean, obviously thought I would get married and have kids, but I think I was definitely really thinking that I was going to go to college and get a degree, and I did go to college, but I did not get a degree. I quit going to college my sophomore year and went to ministry school, so it's kind of a whole 180. I did a 180, and so I would say just not be so hung up on that, because I feel like I thought that was the only way my life could go, and clearly it has not gone that way, and I think that's okay. I'm so thankful for the life that I have. And honestly, I feel like I didn't expect to get married as young as I did. I mean, obviously wanted to get married, but then it kind of happened, and I was like, wait, like, I'm in a serious relationship. Oh, I'm engaged. Oh, I'm married. It just kind of happened. I don't know. I didn't expect it to happen as quick as it did, but yeah, I feel like I would just say, like, to not be so hung up on what you think your life's supposed to be like. Don't be married to the idea that your life's supposed to be this certain way, because it's okay if it's not that, and clearly for me it wasn't like that. If you are 16, that's some advice I would give you. It's okay if your life doesn't turn out how you think it should, or how you think it's like been put on you to live. Like, I wanted to go to college, I wanted to get my degree, I loved school, but it just ended up not going that way, and I'm super thankful. So speaking of ministry school, what's your testimony? And I think I'm gonna do a whole video on this because it's very long. So let me know if you want to hear more about my testimony, because I could chat a long time about it, and I don't want to take up too much of this video. What is your style? I feel like my style is like, I like to be comfy, but truly I feel like I'm more girly. Also, I feel like it changes with the seasons. Like, for spring, I'm super pastel, colorful, flowy things, floral, things like that. But in the fall, I'm more like darker colors, leather jackets, flannels, things like that. I feel like my style changes. So comfortable, girly. I don't really know what words to describe style, but I would say that's a little bit of what my style is. What is your 5-year future plan? 5 years, I will be 28, which is insane to think about. I will definitely have a kid, if not more than one kid, and I think we will probably definitely be in a different house. We want to build, so probably building a home, if not already in a home that we built. Love to still be doing YouTube, doing ministry with Ethan. That's probably what I would say is my 5-year plan. Who really knows, because 5 years ago I did not think this would be my life now, so who really knows what could happen by then. But I feel like those are like just standard things that will probably happen. If God willing, I will, you know, have kids, live in a home that we build on a bunch of land, still have Rosie and Lily, you know. What is your favorite book of the Bible and why? I was thinking about this when I saw the question, and I feel like it's hard to say what my favorite book of the Bible is, because I love all of them for different reasons, and I recommend specific ones when you are starting to read the Bible. Like, I really recommend James, because I feel like it's super helpful and very practical. So I would definitely probably say that's one of them. Also really love Psalms. I think it's just such a beautiful book of encouragement, poems, but also people that are just crying out to the Lord and just being honest, which I really love. And I obviously love the Gospels because they just tell about Jesus on earth. So if I had to choose, those would probably be the ones that I would say right now. What are your favorite stores to shop? I feel like some of my favorite stores are definitely Target. I love Target. They have such cute clothes and they're not too expensive. I also really love H&M. Literally forget all the stores that I ever shop at when I read this question. I also really love to thrift. I feel like I get a lot of clothes at thrift stores. Oh, I also really love Aerie. They have such cute stuff. So probably Target, H&M, Aerie are like my top 3. Those are the 3 apps I have on my phone, so I think those are my favorite. Your ultimate dream vacation. I've been to Hawaii before, but I would love to go back and go with Ethan. I just went with my family before me and Ethan started dating. So I think it would be so fun to go back to Maui, Hawaii with Ethan. That would be so fun. But I would also really love to go to Australia. When I think about it though, it's such a far, like so far to travel there. It's like literally like so many hours over the ocean. So when I think about it practically, I'm like, maybe not, but I would love to go to Australia. Oh my goodness, I was thinking about this the other day. My ultimate dream vacation would be Bora Bora. I wanted to go there so bad for my honeymoon before like me and Ethan even like got married. I just always wanted to go to Bora Bora, but it's very far and very expensive. But I would love to stay in one of those villas, like, you know, villas on the water in Bora Bora. That would be the dream. Are you able to make money with YouTube? How do you make your income? I don't really make money with YouTube. I make like a tiny smidge through affiliate links. But other than that, I do not make money through YouTube. That's the goal. That's the dream that I would love for YouTube to be my full income. That would be awesome. Even just like a substantial amount of income would be amazing. So no, I do not make money, a substantial income from YouTube. As far as how I make my income, I actually work for a local business and I do their social media. So it's not like a 9-to-5 job. I don't like go in 9 to 5 and work all day long. It's super random and flexible to where I just do it when they need me to do it. I just post on their social media, make ads on Facebook, things like that. So I just run their social media, which is so much fun. It's really cool and I love doing it. So you kind of hear me talk about it in vlogs, but it's so like sporadic and random that I don't really talk about it in vlogs. I'm able to give more time to YouTube because it is really flexible. And the other way I make income is through photography. You've probably heard it in vlogs as well that I do photography, but it's kind of like goes in seasons. So obviously in the winter season, photography isn't as prominent. People aren't wanting to take photos in the freezing cold weather, but now that spring's coming up, I'll be doing more shoots. I've actually booked a couple weddings. I'm not necessarily a wedding photographer at all, but I've had people reach out about weddings. So I'm doing a couple weddings and I'm very excited. It's gonna be super fun. So obviously I'll do engagement sessions with them. I've done prom sessions, senior sessions, you know, all that kind of stuff. So those are my 2 ways of making income. I'm kind of like, have like almost like different forms of income because I do like multiple things. To answer your question, that's how I make my income, and I make a little money on YouTube. Obviously, the more that I grow, the more money I would make on YouTube, but right now it's not very much. I also got another question about YouTube and it's tips on reaching out to companies to work with on YouTube. So I actually haven't worked with any companies or any brands on my YouTube channel. I would love to, but from what I've seen, you have to have like 1,000 subscribers, or at least I feel like over 500 subscribers. I've seen someone have less than 1,000 subscribers and work with a brand, but for the most part, I feel like you have to have more, but really it depends on like your views and just your engagement. I have reached out to brands to like do content with them, like just making content for them, not on my social media because I don't have the following to really work with brands right now. But you can really just Google it, any information. You can Google a template, Google a brand pitch email, Google a media kit. Those are kind of my tips. Obviously I haven't worked with any brands, so I can't really give you any advice, but I do have a few friends that do make money with working with brands on their social media, and that's the tips they gave me. But I do think it has to do with like, not necessarily subscribers, but a good amount of engagement on your videos to be able to work with a brand. I have been reached out a few times from brands, but I am very picky. If I wanted to work with a brand, it'd have to be a brand I really love. So I get a few emails like randomly, but I haven't actually worked with any brands. So I would be very careful with emails that you get because some of them are just spam, and some of them they want to take advantage of you and, you know, send you something and you show it and not make any money. It's fine if you want to show something in your videos, but if they're wanting like a post, a reel, a YouTube video, and they're not paying you, that's an issue, and I would look into that. So anyways, and the last question was asked by my friend Sophie. I love her, she's the best, and she asked, do you see yourself living in Alabama forever? If not, where would you want to be? I definitely see myself and see me and my husband living here forever, living in Alabama forever. Me and Ethan are such family people, and we want to be close to our family, especially when we have kids. And also, like, my brother and sister-in-law have kids, and I want to watch them grow up. I want to be near them and see them all the time and see my family all the time. And I also just love where we live, honestly. I think it would be fun. I was talking to Ethan about this, but I actually had this conversation because I showed him the question, and I actually would love to live in Florida. Kind of random. And Sophie actually lives in Florida, which is kind of funny because I would love to be so close to the beach, but then I'm also like, I like having seasons. And then Ethan's like on the opposite side of the spectrum. He would like to live in Colorado because he wants it to be cold most of the time. So those are kind of some random places. If we could live anywhere else, I probably wouldn't live in Florida. He probably wouldn't live in Colorado, honestly, because we do really like where we live. We like the weather. We get all the seasons pretty much, and it's very safe. It's a very affordable area. To answer the question, yes, I see us living here forever in the same area that we live in. Like I said, we do want to build, so we want to build our forever home here, be close to family, start a family here. So that is the answer to that question. I think that's the last one, and I've been talking for so long, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed it, getting to know me a little better. Let me know if you want to see more of these kind of videos, if you have any other questions, if you want to see a video on my testimony, because there's no way I could talk about it in this video, but I would love to do a whole video on it. If this is your first video watching me, if you were like, oh, I'm interested in a Q&A, you should totally subscribe. I post all the time, and you can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And I think that's it. So I'll see you very soon for my next video. Bye.